Hello. I just want to follow on from the first video that we posted, which is about dreams and visions that I've had to do with the end times. Really, this dream I'm going to share today should have come chronologically before the one we posted 2 days ago. So if you have that in mind, after I've shared this, can you be mindful that this one should come before the other one? But I share it anyway, and hopefully you can see the other one again. So basically what happened is, in late 2011, I had a very clear dream that I remembered in great detail about the end times, and it was like the beginning of a series of dreams and visions that took place between 2011 and about 2015 or 16. Not many, but this was the one I think that was significant and kicked them off. So in a dream, I was on the phone to my sister in London discussing the death of my mother and talking about funeral arrangements. And halfway through the conversation, I suddenly became aware that the Antichrist had been revealed. How I knew, I don't know, but that's what dreams are like. So I immediately stopped the phone call, and I had a young boy with me. I think he was about 5, 6 or 7. It was probably our grandson who we were bringing up. So I grabbed him and we ran out of the house, and I think I had in mind of trying to get with other Christians and see what they were going to do about the situation. But we were arrested. We were rounded up with some others and arrested, and we were taken to a large holding place. In appearance, it looked like a great big aircraft hangar, like a metal shell, very, very large, with a big side sliding door. They opened the sliding door, and I was amazed. The whole hangar was absolutely packed with people, and we were pushed in and the door shut. A few minutes later, the sliding door opened again, and in were pushed, I think it's about 4, maybe 5 clergymen. I knew they were clergymen because of the way they were dressed and all their clerical outfit. And the door shut again. Well, they were only there a minute or two, and the door opened again, and they were dragged out and taken for execution. Again, I don't know how I knew that, but you know, in dreams you know those sort of things. And it was at that point I realised what was going to happen to us all. So I said to the boy, let's get away from here. So I turned around and we pushed our way through the crowds diagonally across the hangar, to the furthest point away from the sliding doors, the furthest corner away to our right. And when we got there, we found that there was some people already had dug a hole underneath the wall of the hangar, a kind of little tunnel underneath it, and were already escaping. The floor was like compacted earth. So anyway, me and this boy, we squeezed out as well and got to freedom. This is where we found a chap who had been on guard. He was dressed in civilian clothes, just a young man dressed in jeans and a t-shirt, but he has been on surveillance, and we and some others who had escaped had the unpleasant job of having to bash him round the head and leave him for dead, I don't know. not a very pleasant part of the dream. Anyway, me and the boy, we ran, and we were in town. This hangar was right near the centre of town, and we ran and to find somewhere to hide, and we found this big hotel called the Bell Hotel, and we got inside, and it was pretty empty. There was no one around in the main part of the hotel, so we just ran up and down corridors trying doors to see if we could hide in one of the rooms. Most of them were locked, but we came across one that was unlocked, so we got in this room and we found the wardrobe and got inside the wardrobe. So we're waiting there in the wardrobe, and after a while, thinking about things, I realised this was not a solution. This was not a long-term solution, because how would we eat and how would we drink and all the rest? So I said to the young boy, we're going to have to leave here and find somewhere better than this. So we went downstairs, and we had to pass by the reception area, and that seemed to be milling with people. And as we were walking towards the door, the glass doors, to exit, the receptionist called over to me and said, "Why is the boy not at school?" And I thought, oh my goodness, the fact that he wasn't at school was going to be very obvious. In actual fact, in real life, we homeschooled our grandson. So, and that's a real issue. People wonder why a child isn't at school. So we went out of the glass doors, and I stood there bewildered, thinking, what now? And I heard this noise, and I saw like a column of teenage schoolgirls, all dressed in PE kit, walking very marching down the middle of the road with hockey sticks all over their shoulders, in a very regimented way. And as I looked, I thought, Hitler Youth, it just reminded me of the Hitler Youth. And I felt this spirit of Antichrist had already taken hold of society. It was already up and running. And I just stood there thinking, well, what now? Where do we go now? And the dream ended. So that was the first dream. The next, the vision and dream I had a few months later, in 2012, leads on from that, because actually in the early part of 2012, my mother actually did die. She wasn't expected to. She was suffering from Alzheimer's and in a home, but she was in good health physically. So her death early in 2012 was a surprise, and it put me in mind about that time of that particular dream, this dream I've just shared with you. Because if you remember, it was when I was on the phone to my sister talking about my mother's death and making funeral arrangements that the Antichrist was revealed. So yes, if you can look at the one before this video, and that will describe to you the vision I had about a symbolic tree that represented the Antichrist, and how the Lord confirmed that he is here already, he is alive, he is an adult, he's in the prime of life, and he is about to be revealed. So in 2012, he was about to be revealed. I have a personal view about who it may be. I will be bold enough to say who I think it is, but I'm not being prophetic here. But my opinion is that it's Barack Obama. I think he will make a big comeback, possibly through the UN. And just his name, Barack Obama, which I think it's in the Hebrew, means like lightning coming down to the earth. So it's a kind of symbolic name, as it were, for Satan, Lucifer, who was cast out of heaven and came down to earth like a lightning bolt. So you can look into that, research it. It might mean nothing, it might be very significant. But I'll leave it there until I share the next series of visions and dreams. Thank you very much.